myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take a few to lose. Built the win, applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I built the win, applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another episode. And today, we'll be talking about the bowl games. From today, December 29th, up until Wednesday, New Year's Eve, not including the playoff game, which is Miami, Ohio State. That will be on its own separate episode, as long as the three other quarterfinal games, Wednesday, 11 in the morning, featuring Ace. So we have a whole separate podcast episode dedicated to the playoffs. We're just talking about the 8 bowl games from today to Wednesday. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. We got a game that comes on in about 17 minutes. We got the bowl game between Georgia Southern and App State, the Birmingham Bowl, which is again today. 2 o'clock on ESPN. Georgia Southern comes into this matchup as 9.5-point favorites. They have played this year, in which Georgia Southern did win 25-23. This is one of those weird in-conference bowl games. I believe this is due to teams opting out. App State is 5-7, so that leads me to believe this is one of those bowl games that was due to people opting out. Georgia Southern comes into 6-6, so they are one of those bowl teams that actually made it. I got to turn my pages. But for Georgia Southern, get the ball to Camden Brown, your lead receiver. So I think they're going to be without their lead guy on the backfield, so you got to lean on your lead receiver in Camden Brown. J.C. French, don't be afraid to run. Like, he's not a super huge runner, but he can run the football. He has 6 rushing touchdowns on the year, 200 yards. And I would think against App State, you can't be afraid to run the ball there if you got lanes to run it. You want to pressure the quarterback if you're Georgia Southern, because they will be without A.J. Swan, who lost his job, and I believe the guy who took his job is no longer playing. So they'll be down to – they didn't announce the starter from what I saw. I can double-check that again just to make sure. But there were 2 guys that were likely to start for App State, neither one of them having much experience in the collegiate game. So you want to pressure them with their lack of experience. Let's see here. We got App State starting quarterback. Have they announced one yet? Nope. They still haven't announced an official starter yet, because AJ Swan, and his name was JJ Cole. I can't think of his name. JJ Cole is not playing today. So, we don't know who the quarterback will be for that game. Appreciate that, my boy. Shout out my brother in the chase and my record looking sweet. Appreciate that. I will explain that at the end of the episode. Next, you want to force turnovers with Georgia Southern. Again, going with a less than experienced guy at quarterback. Want to pressure him and force some turnovers and get off the field on third downs. You don't want teams gaining confidence, gaining first downs, and keeping drives alive, scoring points, taking time off the clock. So the more third downs you can get off the field, the lower I believe the confidence can be for the opposing team. Now, if you're App State, you want to establish Rashad DeBunyan. What's best for a quarterback with lack of experience? A run game is 1, and a tight end is 2. So you do have your lead guy in the backfield for App State. You want to get him going. You want to protect the football. You're already with a guy with a lack of experience. You don't want to give Georgia Southern extra possessions. Stop the run. Someone has to step up in the absence of Jaden Barnes, who is injured, so he will not play today. Somebody has to step up if that's their lead receiver and get off the field on third downs. Same thing. Like defensively, you want to give your quarterback as many possessions as possible. And my winner for this matchup is going to be Georgia Southern. Why? One, again, I've said it multiple times. Just starting a guy with not that much experience. He's an unknown. I don't know if he's going to be good, if he's going to be bad. We'll have to see. They played each other early in the year. Georgia Southern won by 2, but that's when App State had their guys. They are missing a couple pieces. Try to add that in with the quarterback being gone. I think it's just a tough day, a tough game, and I'm going to take Georgia Southern in this one. Shout out to y'all in the comments. I see y'all. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for showing up. Definitely appreciate y'all for showing up. Next, we have the Independence Bowl tomorrow, 2 o'clock. So same time, tomorrow, 2 o'clock on ESPN. We got Coastal Carolina versus Louisiana Tech. Now, Coastal Carolina did fire their head coach. Louisiana Tech is also down 2 quarterbacks. They're down Evan Bullock, who is entering the transfer portal, and Turner, who is injured, I believe. So they are down those guys. Now, Coastal's down their starter as well. Tad Hudson is looking to be projected to start for the Chanticleers. Now, for Coastal Carolina, again, being Roger's starter, you want to establish your running back, Javan Simpkins. Javan Simpkins is the lead runner. You want to get him going. Tad Hudson has to protect the football. Hudson has 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions so far to date. So he has to take care of that football. You cannot give Louisiana Tech extra possessions. Plus, Louisiana Tech is a solid defense. So you can't turn the ball over there. Pressure the quarterback, who Louisiana Tech's projected starter tomorrow to be Trey Kukuk. So you want to pressure him. He's also a runner, so you want to contain his legs. He had 170 yards, I want to say, on the ground in this in the regular season finale. And you want to stop the run of Louisiana Tech. Now, for Louisiana Tech, you want to force turnovers. You want to give yourself extra possessions. You want to run Trey Kukuk, pressure Tad Hudson, establish Clay Thieving on the ground, your lead rusher, and force 3rd and longs. And let's see if Tad Hudson don't throw a couple interceptions. But with that being said, I'm going with the team that can run the ball very well. Going with the team who's backup quarterback. Well, he hasn't really played, but Tad Hudson has 5 interceptions. He possibly throws some tomorrow. I'm taking Louisiana Tech in this matchup. Again, like I said, a solid defense can run the football, but Tad Hudson and those 5 interceptions, 4 touchdowns kind of scared me for Coastal Carolina. So I'm going to roll with the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech. And we move on to the Music City Bowl, Tennessee versus Illinois. Tennessee, again, y'all know what I say about Tennessee. They don't have any good wins. Sorry, not sorry. Illinois, on the other hand, you could call this, I don't want to say it was a down season. They didn't have the season I expected, but they still went 8-4, which is really good for Illinois program. So still a good season, but again, Tennessee, in my opinion, has no good wins. This game is tomorrow, 5:30 on ESPN. Tennessee is favored by 2.5 points. And I will say this also, this game is in Nashville, Tennessee. So this is not really a neutral site. Like, it is a neutral site because it's not at the University of Tennessee, but it's not really a neutral site because it's still in the state of Tennessee. So I'm pretty sure Tennessee Volunteer fans will be big in this game. For Tennessee, you have to establish Deshaun Bishop and Star Thomas on the ground. One main reason of that is because Chris Brazell, your lead receiver, go ball getter, your do-it-all receiver, has opted out. So you definitely got to establish the ground game there. Pressure Luke Altmaier, the quarterback for the Illinois Fighting Illini. I will say that there is a difference between the pressured Luke Altmaier and a protected Luke Altmaier. And you want to see the pressured Luke Altmaier, which this defense can do. But they do have some guys on the defensive end not playing as well. Protect the football. Joey Aguilar, 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions on the year. Get Braylon Staley, and Mike Matthews the ball, and they average 40.8 points per game. So I had to put score. When you averaging 40 points per game, you gotta have that one as one of your keys. Now for Illinois wants to run the ball, whoever it is, whether it's Ada Mahaney, like those bevy backs. You want to. I said Ada Mahaney. I think it's Ada McLaughlin. I think Ada Mahaney. Yeah, that's the basketball player. But you want to establish the run. You want to stop the run. You want to force turnovers because that's big. When Illinois win, they do force a ton of turnovers. Now they will be without some guys. I think they're without Matthew Bailey. So that'd be huge. Get the ball to Hank Beatty and pressure Joey Aguilar, possibly forcing him to force some turnovers. But my winner, and I went back and forth with this one, but ultimately I went with Illinois only because, again, Tennessee has no good wins. And I think that might come back to bite them. Like I said, it's a really good game. It is a game that is technically a neutral site, but not really a neutral site, which is the advantage Tennessee. But I have to see Tennessee beat a good team. I haven't seen it yet. You're missing a couple of key pieces on offense and defense. So with that being said, man, I got to go with a team that's actually proven to win some big games. Illinois beat USC. That's a big win. They beat Northwestern, which is not really a big win, but that was a good win. So I've seen Illinois get some good wins. They beat Duke, who's the ACC champ. So I've seen them get good wins. I haven't seen it from Tennessee, so I'm going with the team that I've seen get some good wins in Illinois. Next, we got the final bowl game for Tuesday, the Alamo Bowl, which features USC versus TCU, which USC comes into this game 6.5-point favorites, which I would assume would be more if they weren't missing basically a lot of guys, or basically their whole receiver production. And they're missing pieces on the defense like Bishop Fitzgerald, Kamari Ramsey, I think, is out. But TCU, they're without starting quarterback Josh Hoover, who's entered the portal. This game is 9 o'clock on ESPN tomorrow. Now, for USC, somebody got to step up in the absence of Jacoby Lane, Lake McCree, and Mekhi Lemon. All three are not playing in the bowl game from what I saw. So somebody got to step up in their absence at the receiver position, which I think Lincoln Riley has a ton of guys ready to go. He always keeps sneaky receivers. Established King Miller on the ground. And there is a note that Wayman Jordan may be a go for the bowl game, but we'll see how that is. But established King Miller. Forced turnovers because we don't know what this new QB is. But when TCU and Josh Hoover turn the ball over, that's when they lose most of their games. Oh, that's when they have lost games this year. Use Jaden Ivor legs. I do think that that'll be key in this one. And pressure the quarterback, likely Ken Seals. For TCU. You want to put pressure on the new guy. First game all year. Put some pressure on him. Let's see what he does. Now, if you're TCU, you want to stop the run. You want to stop King Miller, force Jaden Ivor to throw the ball. Like I said, let's test these receivers because they are going to be guys that really haven't gotten most of the receiving work for the USC Trojans. Get the ball to Eric McAllister. That's always going to be top of the list for me at TCU. You got to get your best receiver the ball. I want to say Jordan Dwyer is out as well. Established Jeremy Payne and Trent Battle on the ground. I don't think Kavarian Barnes is playing, but if he is playing, then obviously he will start, and that's who you want to get the ball to. But if he's not playing, you want to use those guys as well. Protect the football because, like I said, when TCU turns the ball over, that's when they have lost the game. And get off the field on third downs, which I feel like could be a problem for TCU defensively. So I'm going with USC. Like I said, I think Lincoln Riley. You got some guys, man, that we probably don't know of yet that can really tear it up on the receiver side of the game, offensive side of the game. Plus, man, this kind of reminds me of like the bowl game with Miller Moss when they played Louisville, which instead of the unknown being the quarterback, the unknown kind of being the receivers, and I think they're going to come out and shine. We don't know what this TCU quarterback looks like. Josh Hoover did a really good job this year, but, I mean, he was the starter for a reason. So is Ken Seals better than Josh Hoover? We'll find out. But even with Josh Hoover, if USC lined up against TCU, I'm taking USC. So without Josh Hoover, I'm definitely taking USC over TCU. So give me USC to beat TCU. Next, we got the ReliaQuest Bowl to start off the Wednesday Bowls, and we got Iowa versus Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt comes into this as 4.5-point favorites. This game is 12 o'clock on ESPN. Iowa got to contain Diego Pavia's legs. That's going to be key for anybody playing the Commodores as he leads them in passing and rushing. Run Mark Gronowski, the quarterback. And you got to use his legs because that's his best attribute at the quarterback position. Establish Kamari Moulton on the ground. Get the ball to Jacob Gill and Reese Vanderzee, which I know they're not the two leading receivers on the team, but to me, they're the two best receivers on the team. Vanderzee was out for most of the year, and I think Jacob Gill was out for quite some time as well. To me, the best two receivers on the team. Got to be efficient passing the ball. He has to be better passing the football. You got to pass the ball well against this Vanderbilt team, especially this Vanderbilt defense. Now for Vandy, run Diego Pavia. Like I said, he leads them in both passing and rushing. Got to use his legs. Contain Mark Gronowski's legs. That'll be huge, which they see it in practice every week. Force third and longs. Make this Iowa team have to beat you passing the ball, which is not Iowa's forte. Establish Cedric Alexander on the ground and get the ball to Junior Sherrill and Trey Richardson. Noted that Eli Stowers has opted out of the bowl game from what I saw. He will not play. So these two will be even more important to the Commodores offense. But as much as Eli Stowers is a security blanket for Diego, they have the chemistry playing dating back to New Mexico State. I'm rolling with Vanderbilt, man. I just think this offense and defense is way too much. I think Iowa is way too one-dimensional. And I think that they're going to have a tough time stopping this Vanderbilt offense. And I can see Vanderbilt putting up a ton of points against this Iowa defense. Now, I can see Iowa scoring a bit, but overall, I just think Pavia in this offense is just going to be a little bit too much for this Iowa defense. And Iowa's lack of a passing game is going to come back to bite them. So give me Vanderbilt to win this bowl game. We move on to the Sun Bowl, which is also Wednesday, and it's featuring Arizona State versus Duke. Now, Arizona State is missing a ton. Arizona State is missing Jordan Tyson, Malik Brown, Sam Levitt's not playing, Shamar Mateer's not playing. So they're missing a ton. I think Prince Darbo is not playing. So they're missing a ton. While Duke, they pretty much got their team. They're missing some pieces. They're missing Chandler Rivers, I think, at cornerback. I think it's Vinny Anthony, I think, at DN. They're missing, but they pretty much, for the most part, got their team. Now, Arizona State will be starting Jeff Sims. Run Jeff Sims. You already know. If you have Jeff Sims, run him. He had like 200-some yards in a day. No, that wasn't the Arizona game. I think it was the game prior to Arizona. But he had like 200 yards on the ground before this season. Protect the football. I've said it all the time. Jeff Sims is a turnover machine. So he has to protect the football. Establish Kanye Udo on the ground. They will be without Malik Brown again. So you got to use Kanye Udo, who is used to being in the starting role. He was the starting running back at Army last year, had a heck of a year, which led him to being at Arizona State. Get the ball to Malik McClain, which, if you remember, I want to say that was the Texas Tech game, or maybe it was the Houston game. He had like one of the best games of his career with Jordan Tyson being out. So got to get the ball to Malik McClain, and Mateus not being there as well. So he's going to be huge for Arizona State. And pressure Darian Mensah. You don't want him getting all the time in the world sitting back there and dissecting your defense. So you want to put some pressure on Darian Mensah. Now for Duke, you want to stop the run. Make Jeff Sims have to beat you with his arm. Stop the quarterback run. Stop Kanye Udo. Stop whatever on the backfield. Stop the run. Contain Jeff Sims' legs. Force turnovers, which Jeff Sims is going to give them to you. Establish Nate Shepard on the ground and get the ball to Cooper Bearcat for the Duke Blue Devils. And my winner is I'm going with Duke. Why? Because I do see Jeff Sims turning the ball over. I do see Duke's offense being efficient with Nate Shepard and the guys. They have their offense ready to go. So I do think that's going to be a real big thing for Duke. I can see them being very efficient offensively, passing the ball, running the ball. I can see Arizona State turning the ball over. And they're missing big pieces on offense. So give me the Duke Blue Devils to win this bowl game. Now, next, we have a game, which I still ain't even pick a winner yet. We have the Citrus Bowl. We have 18th ranked Michigan versus 13th ranked Texas. This game is 3 o'clock on ABC, which Texas coming to this game as 7.5-point favorites. Now, Michigan's obviously without Sharon Moore, dealing with what he's dealing with. But Texas is without 7 defensive players on the defensive side of the ball. They're without DeAndre Moore, who they say is not expected to be back. And a bunch of their running backs has opted out. Well, they're in the transfer portal. I don't know if they're playing. Wisner's in the portal. CJ Baxter's in the portal. Don't know if they'll be playing in a bowl game. So for Michigan, you got to establish the run. Now, they said they had a pretty much healthy roster. We don't know if Justice Haynes will be back. Don't know if Jordan Marshall will be back. But establish the run. They've had running backs step up in absences. So establish the run. Contain Arch Manning's legs. Get the ball to Andrew Marsh on the outside. Got to be better passing the ball. I say this all the time. Michigan has to be better passing the ball. When they're normally doing okay passing the ball, they can win games. And you got to get the ball to, excuse me. Underwood can't be afraid to use his legs if nothing is there. You're a freshman. If you see a lane, nothing really there, take it. It is what it is. Now, if you're Texas, get the ball to Ryan Wingo, who I figure will be featured a lot. Run Arch Manning, contain Bryce Underwood, force third and longs, make Michigan beat you with passing, and stop the run. That should really be key number one for the Texas Longhorns, is stopping the run, because that's what Michigan is predicated upon. They're predicated upon defense and running the football. So if you stop the run, you take away a big part of the Michigan offense. Now, like I said, man, I have not picked a winner in this game yet. I haven't. Where's my pen so I can write what I say down? Because on one part, you got, again, Michigan without head coach. You got Biff Poggi, who was the coach at Charlotte, but Charlotte wasn't really good. And then you got Texas, who's missing a ton of defense. And offensively, it was already shaky at times. It did get better throughout the year, I will say that. But you're going against a really good Michigan defense. But this defense is also missing pieces. Let me iterate that too. They may be without Ty Berry. Not Ty Berry. Barry Hill. I think they said TJ Metcalf might not play. So Michigan's going to be missing a ton of pieces too. So I'm going to take Texas, man. I'm going to just roll with Texas. Texas got their head coach. I feel like Texas could have guys. Texas normally has guys that can play next man up. And they just got to really key in on the game plan to stop the run. So give me Texas to win this game. But I will say I might be betting Michigan plus 7.5. I might take the points. But give me Texas to win that game. And last but not least, we have the Las Vegas Bowl, which is the Wednesday, 3:30 on ESPN, because like I said, the playoff game will be that night at 7:30, which we will not be talking about. But Nebraska takes on Utah, with Utah being 14.5-point favorites. Now Dylan Raiola is in the portal. He's also been out with an injury. This game is 3:30 on ESPN. They say that T.J. Lateef is ready to go, so he will be the starter. Emmett Johnson has opted out, which is really big for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. While Utah really doesn't have too many opt-outs. Ryan Davis' injury status is up in the air, but other than that, they don't really have too many opt-outs. They do have some on the O-line. They do have Spencer Fano. He is, I believe, opting out, getting ready for the draft. But other than that, not too many. Nebraska has to contain Devin Dampier legs. He is a runner. He's really fast. He's good with the football in his hands. So you want to contain his legs. You want to establish the run, which it won't be Emmett Johnson. So we'll see who'll be carrying the ball for the Cornhuskers. Forced turnovers is key, because I do think that Nebraska is going to have a tough time scoring. So you got to create extra possessions or shorter fields to put yourself in position to score. Clock control is also going to be key, because one way to beat a good offense is to keep them off the field. And TJ Lateef has to be better passing the football. They have to be a better passing team with TJ Lateef. Now for Utah, you want to runway Sean Parker, stop the run, making Nebraska have to pass. Use Smith Snowden a little bit more offense, just like Minnesota had to do with Corey Parrish. Force third and longs and score. Utah's putting up a ton of points. Nebraska, I don't think they will be able to match. And I'm running with Utah in this game, man. Utah just got a ton. They're a really good offense. Devin Dampier, their major keys of offense are playing as well. Maybe beyond Ryan Davis due to injury, but a lot of their players are playing. Nebraska really hasn't been the same since Raiola went down, and then you lose Emmett Johnson, who's not playing, who's opting out. So I think that's a huge blow. So give me Utah to win this bowl game. And that's the end of the bowl preview for Monday to Wednesday, not including the playoff. Just had to say that again. Now, you just got some house cleaning stuff. Like I say, man, please like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps my channel, it helps the network. Speaking of this being a network, we have shows on the network. We have the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave, 7 o'clock to about 8:30ish. They go live Tuesdays and Fridays. So make sure y'all tune into them. They will be live tomorrow. We have Unfazed, who normally go live on Tuesdays, but due to working and stuff like that, they have been going live on different days, but they go live at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. So subscribe so y'all know when they drop episodes. We have Baseball with Teddy, just be on the lookout when he drop episodes. He don't really go live. He drop episodes, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that. FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. Some people's fantasy football championship games come down to possibly Bijan and Puka Nacua tonight or Matt Stafford. So good luck to anybody who's in that conference championship game. We got RBO, Real Ballers Only. My Pistons, we might be trash. Nah, but the Pistons took a bad loss to the Clippers last night. Kawhi put up 55, so tough loss. But that's our NBA show featuring Vaughn. We got Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sport. And we have In the Red Corner boxing show. They go live on Sundays. Not every Sunday, but when they do go live, it is on Sundays. And they go live between 6:30 and 7 o'clock. So make sure y'all check them out. That's all the shows we have on the network. Just want to explain my record real quick. So I'm 162 and 89 throughout the entirety of the year in picking college football games. The bowl weeks, so weeks 1 and 2, I went 14 and 9. And the college football first round, I went 3 and 1. So those are my records on the year. But I'm about to go watch this Rely Quest Bowl. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Monday. I'll be back Wednesday morning at around 11 o'clock in the morning. But I'm gone, y'all. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.